it's just terrible. It's just I didn't wait. I think I bought off somewhere in here and got dumped on. Wasn't patient enough.
Ooh, you lost on AGFY?
Yeah, that was those fat ones right here. I think because I was playing like Lays and ATXI in the morning, and I was doing pretty good. Um, but then I saw, because I saw Mikey put something on AGFY, and I was like, dang, that thing ripped in the morning. So it's that initial FOMO feeling, it's
Yeah.
up whatever, 20-some%. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. And I look and I see this huge 5 bar here. And I was like, okay. And it's starting to pull back. And it had absolutely ripped too. So I was thinking somewhere in here to kind of purchase. I had that 115. I don't know what that was. Something like that. But in reality, I was not patient enough. And yeah, 115 is that previous high right there. And so I really wanted it to bounce off that. And I went in really heavy. And I ended up selling somewhere after it pretty much hits this. I don't even know if it didn't quite hit that 8 yet. But obviously look what happens when it hits the 8. So if you're just freaking patient enough, you can get filled in over here and then have a really nice play. So that was me being impatient and taking the L somewhere in here, I forget. But I was really heavy and got murdered on it.
Did
And
you
so, yeah.
did you scale into this one, or did you like buy your whole position at once?
I scaled into it
Okay.
somewhere, but I was quickly scaling. If that makes
Okay,
sense.
I hear you.
I didn't go like a quarter, and then like what I kind of do, and it's the same mentality that Mikey kind of preaches, is like when it pulls back, you slam in, and so I guess it's kind of scaling because like I'm hitting the buy button multiple times. Um, I just spammed the shit out of the buy button.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what got me in trouble here was just too big of a position. I didn't even think I really realized how big the position was. For myself, everybody's different. Everyone's
Yeah, yeah,
different.
definitely.
So, and then I took that, and that really mentally was a huge thing because it was like, I think it was like a negative 350 trade or something. And to keep things in perspective, my PR on Monday is $500. So negative 350 in one trade is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, so after that, I was lucky enough I had like one other small green trade, and then I went for a walk. So I think the biggest thing that like the whole mental side of things too is really what even if you take an L or something, first off, taking L like that, it's unexcusable because there's no point in buying right there. And if I did buy right there, I should have instantly cut it as soon as it breaks 150. But I really should just be waiting for my play, which is coming back to that 8 EMA and being patient. And I think one thing that I struggle with is in the morning, I like to try to play off that 1 minute flags too because the 5 doesn't set up yet. And I need to take smaller size, and I need to like constantly remind myself, okay, it's the morning, I'm taking smaller size on these 1 minute flags. Once the day progresses a little bit and you get those 8 minute flags, that's when you really slam it. At least like for me, that's kind of what I think I should do.
Yeah, the opening volatility on the flags is ridiculous. That's one of the things I do in the morning is instead of playing a 5 minute flag, because like you said, they don't form yet. I either look for a 1 or 3 minute flag, and then I look for that 3 minute flag to turn into a 5 minute flag.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you're looking for a three,
Yeah, I'm
or
looking for.
one or three?
So first, I'm looking for like a 1 minute flag setup, kind of consolidation. Then I'll switch
Yeah.
over to a 3 minute, and then I'll look for that 1 minute to form into kind of a 3 minute flag, and then if we get the breakout on the 3 minute flag, that's cool. But then if that 3 minute flag forms into a 5 minute flag, it just gives me a lot more confidence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hey, this is Terry. This is T-Bone.
What's up, T-Bone?
So when Mikey, hey, how you guys doing?
Good, good.
So when Mikey preaches these pullbacks, always remember that the very first pullback, I think whether it be on the 1 minute or the 5, is going to be the strongest. So you kind of always hit that one.
Right. Okay. And the second one should be a little bit high.
Right. But yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it can be right after the first one. It's when you hit the third and beyond. You need to start watching the 5 minute because of how extended that might get.
Right. Right. Good tip for sure.
Yeah.
Good point.
Also on AGFY, I noticed a little trend there on the 1 minute. If you connect that break through that orb level, which is at the opening, and then you draw your trend line connecting the lows, kind of have that trend forming.
So when it breaks here,
Yeah, you see that red hammer candle that pulls back in to test
Yeah.
that level? No. Go follow it up. Not that one. Excuse me, not that one. So you're gonna get that leg through that level.
this one?
Yup. You're
Yeah.
gonna take,
So
you
it
know,
breaks through.
pulls
Yeah,
back. Yup. Connect that one to the lows. I can kind of see a trend forming.
Yeah, like here.
No,
Okay.
to that lower, to that higher low, all the way to the right. Yup.
Here.
That one, and then you drag it across the screen, and it should connect.
Oh yeah,
Yup.
it does. Yeah,
Yup.
it
There you
does,
go.
For sure. Bounces right there. That it does. Look at that. Like perfect.
Yeah, even on the 5. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And it even bounced off it over here.
Yup.
And then eventually it breaks through, but it still kind of holds it, and then it holds it all through there. And then after it breaks here, it never really, makes
Yeah.
it back up there.
Yeah, I was seeing that end of day wedge is like a descending wedge, and I remember there was a guy in chat saying, "Oh, so I should go short," and then I was like, "No, you shouldn't go short because descending wedges can still
Descending.
break out to the upside."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
This will definitely be a name to watch tomorrow. Like I know Mikey said they had the Nasdaq compliance, so they got to stay over $1 for like so many days. So like who knows? This Monday can bring in a fresh pair of longs, and if we hold that, 130, 115 area, we could possibly see a move higher.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it needs to stay 10 days above the 1, I mean, it's at 1 now, right? Or maybe they can have this stay count. I don't know.
What is it in after hours right now? Did it end up flushing out, or is it still holding
No,
up?
stay strong.
Oh yeah, no, it stayed pretty strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely be on watch. Go over here. That's one thing I want to do better too, is create a watch list. It's something that I really just do in the morning, like see what has volume. But I definitely, like, a lot of times you just see like, oh yeah, the daily looked really good, and there wasn't much volume in the morning, but then midday it starts picking up, and it's because the daily looks so pretty good. So
Yeah.
definitely need to
every
more watch this for myself.
Yeah, every morning I post a watch list in Goblin Gang too, so that could like always help you.
Yeah, I see that, and I appreciate it, man.
Of course, man.
Definitely help.
If you, I think you just flipped through Peggy. I think I seen a daily flag on Peggy right there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was on my old watch list like that.
Yeah, kind of a daily flag setting up there.
Yeah, but I think Mike talked about that in the video.
Oh, I didn't see that end of day move. Never mind.
Yeah. And he was talking about, I think he was talking about this flag too, and it's like, just look at the daily. Like,
Yeah, it is very extended. It
where is
is.
this thing gonna go? Like, not a lot of volume. It's already made this huge move. It's kind of, you get this
Doji right there.
Yeah, doji here. This thing pulled back as a shooting star. Yeah, he definitely talked about it. I remember that. But it's something that I think is really important too to be aware of. Is like, okay, we have a flag here, but it's so high. It's so high here on this chart with crap volume.
Definitely.
So definitely things to pay attention to whenever you're entering a 5-minute flag. Is how good does that daily look?
Yeah, that 615 area on Peggy, I know it held up for like, I don't know how many days. I think almost a week. Like if you go to a 4-hour chart or something,
Oh yeah.
you'll see that the 615 area just it held up for like a couple of days before finally giving out.
Up in here.
Yeah,
Yeah. So holding up, yeah, and then it gives that, and now.
I'll see if we bounce off that. Looks like yeah, 5
Stop.
area kinda 495 area.
Yeah. Good. We'll see. See what she does. Not bad at all.
That dumps on
There's
pretty
no-
low volume too. That's why it's kind of like what's going on there.
Yeah. That's true. We will see. And also, it's a good support over here at that level.
Yeah.
We'll see what she does for sure. So yeah, that was my really big loss. And then I was able to regroup, and I think that's one of the things that it's the hardest to do is like when you take that big loss, is come back and because obviously you don't want to go more negative, and your emotions are all over the place.
Yeah, that's true.
And so luckily I took the dog for a walk. I don't know which ones I think I played. Played. Oops. I played one of these. I don't remember which one it was. I'll have to pull it up. They had a really nice move at the end of the day.
Yeah, shorts ended up. I kind of seen towards the end of the day. I kind of seen an ascending triangle setting up. We just had the continuous like higher lows. And then we had
Yeah.
that, flat top resistance near 365, but I didn't notice that until the chart was said and done.
Well, yeah. Good call there. Really needs to take it off. I think I played this one. This one.
Yeah, I got stuffed on one of these flags too.
Yeah. But because I'm really scalpy though, I ended up making a good chunk of money because I'm out before it even fails.
Yeah,
Which is bad, but also it really helps me with market conditions, which is something I think has helped me in the last, like through September and everything. Just being really scalpy, I'm able to get out before it's dumb. I don't get the full move, but I also, which is like the next progression for me is whenever the market does give us more follow through is to allow things to extend more, which is something I messaged you about what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do is let things extend more.
you just gotta scale out properly so you're in that
Right.
last piece that doesn't have any emotions tied to it, because that's gonna be the toughest part. Is holding for that bigger move, and once you do
Yeah.
it once, and then you like get that exposure to it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this wasn't so bad. Just let it play out.
Yeah, that's definitely what I need to do is leave that last part for leave that last half or whatever and just let it run.
Yeah.
Which I did do it on one of my positions at the end, but it ended up failing, so I took out break even my second half. I forget where it was. Let's see, did it give us a 5-minute pullback? I did. Oh, but it's kind of heavy on that pullback.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have taken it.
It's kind of just that after hours volatility right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Which is, to me, it's more of a crapshoot. Dive down or does it come up?
Yeah, kind of a gamble.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the
I don't
setup
think I would've
wasn't.
taken-
Yeah, the setup wasn't the cleanest. The volume was not great at all.
Yeah. No. Look at that dump, dude. Big old dump. But it held up. I mean, once it holds up. Yeah, I don't think I would have taken it. Let's see what else to ATXI. I need to pull up my timestamp so I know where the heck I traded. It's been so long.
Yeah, I have a little notebook right by me. Every time I get in a trade, I just jot it down real quick.
Yeah. Let me change this to blue. Sorry guys, I'm changing things on the side.
Do your thing, do your thing.
Trying to figure out where I traded it. One thing too, I don't know, do you ever have troubles whenever you get like show trades and it doesn't pop
I
up?
do,
You
yeah.
go to like 5 minute to 1 minute, it still doesn't pop up.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Oh, the weekends too. Whenever I look on the weekends, it doesn't show my trades.
That's honestly why I write them down.
Yeah.
Because I know
what
on
it is.
TD, like sometimes, or well,
I know what it is.
at the end of the day, it doesn't show your orders. I think if you go to the actual TD like Ameritrade app
Yeah, then
or
it works.
or website, it should show you your
Trying to
trades.
hear me here. Let's see if, I was gonna see if maybe it's because I just have like one day and it's considering the weekend of the day. It's not pulling up Friday, but that's still on there. Anyway, sorry for the
If
delay.
you, this T-Bone, if you go into monitor,
Uh huh.
you can see all your trades.
Right, go over there. I guess that's true. We could go in there, but when you see my trades, I mean, I'm good.
If you have the
there's so many trades. I have so many trades.
if you have the Thinkorswim app, you can go to filled and filter last like couple days.
But it might have been this early morning move when we had a little bit of a pullback here. It might have been. I don't really remember exactly when. It's one thing. See that or this banana thing failed. I definitely made money on it. It might have been this. Come up, pull back off the previous highs, and then just kept going.
Yeah, I played that. I played that 5 minute flag into that I believe it was 350 area pivot.
Yeah, right here. Yep, it's perfect. It's a beautiful flag there.
Yeah.
See how it looks on the one too. Pulls up, yep, pulls back, hits it almost perfect. Bounces, it is, pulls back. Just like T-Bone was saying too, the second one's always, no, not always, but a little bit higher, so less risk. Which no one. But yeah, those were pretty much all I traded. ATXI, Lays, and a little bit of SHPH, which I scalped for a win. Don't know where I traded it. Honestly, I have no recollection, which is bad.
No, it's not just you, man. Sometimes I forget tickers right after looking at the ticker.
yeah, nope, sorry guys, I got nothing on this. I don't know where I traded it. And then the other one was SHPH, which this one ended up dumping too on a few different plays. I think this was one where it dumped. Yeah, this is one where it went through the high day, right?
Yeah, kind of put in the
I
flag and
I think I just played the bounce because I was like, I don't think it's gonna. I wasn't sure if it was gonna go for new highs or not, but I wanted to at least play the bounce. I think I made a little money on the bounce somewhere near. I mean, just a small bounce. I don't even know what it was, which one it was. It might have been this bounce right here, going all the way back. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a clean name. I think this one on the daily. Looked weird.
yeah, I think Mikey talked about this
Yeah, I think
this
he did.
daily on his video. Said like there was nothing significant about it, etc.
Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Is there some other stuff you wanted to go through? Other trades?
Trying to think if there's. I really don't don't have anything to like kind of. Like I don't have any real advice to give you. I don't know, your trades were solid. Some of them, just didn't work out.
Yeah.
One thing about AGFY actually is try to notice the trends. And another thing I was gonna say on AGFY is, if you take a paper cut, well, it wasn't really a paper cut. You said it was kind of a big loss relative to your PR day or whatnot. But if you do take that L, like when it reclaimed that 115, and held,
Yeah.
because I see later in the day it came back up, and yeah, right there it pulled back, reclaimed 115. Like you should be, just because you fail on one setup doesn't mean you're gonna fail on the next.
Right.
And if you capitalized on that next pullback, you probably would have, made that L back and a whole lot more, because if you see it, it extended into new highs right after. So
Yeah.
just because you take an L on one setup in the setup, don't be afraid to, jump back in it. There's always going to be paper cuts.
Yep. That's very good advice. For sure.
Yeah, even right there, we broke through that 122 area pivot, pulled in and held.
Yeah. I guess for me in like this area right here, I'm trying to think of where would I get in. I don't know if this volume would have spooked from the downside. I also don't know, was all this volume up here with the pushing? It might have been. Or
Possibly.
was it all, like selling off?
Yeah.
But,
Like, looking at that, the ideal entry would have been off that 120, 122 area pivot, and then your risk would have been off like 18, 120, give it a little bit of wiggle room. And
yeah.
if you had, smaller size and you didn't have bigger size, you could even go off that 115, but that's, I'd rather, try and enter as close as to 115 as possible.
Yeah. So for me, like I wouldn't enter down here. I'm still at the point where I wouldn't enter, just because I'm solely focusing on those 5 minute flags, like a big stick of volume or some sort of volume, and then a pullback and then enter and go. And that's kind of like what I'm really just trying to force myself to only trade those. Like here, like it's a good setup. Like this volume's coming down, and I think later in my career I wanna attack that.
Yeah.
But right now it's like I really want to like hone in on mastering one thing, like just absolutely.
Yeah,
mastering
it's a good idea.
That 5 minute 80 minute pullback, and Mikey said that in some of his videos too. So it's where it's like you know your setup, you know exactly how much to risk, you know how it behaves. Like you play it so much that it just becomes second nature. It's like that's what I'm really trying to focus on. So like that, like here, and there's nothing wrong with like, I mean obviously it's a beautiful setup here, but for me and where my trading career is, I'm really gonna hone in on just those 5 minute pullbacks, ABMA.
Yeah, definitely.
One bar up, one bar down. Try to get in there.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm trying.
It's always a good idea to master one strategy, and then adding more to your arsenal as you get better.
Especially as like I'm trying to size up now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, notice it now. Like, I know you're focused on flags, but like, I do kind of see a flag as well into that 115 trend line test on the 5.
Right here?
Yeah, if you go like 2 candles to the left to the push up. Yeah, right there we have our leg up, and then we kind of have that 5-minute flag. Yeah. But like, what I was gonna say is, like, notice this trend line being held. Look how it was respected on all pullbacks, and just keep that in the back of your mind. So when you do master flags and you do go to trend line trading, you remember, like, okay, we have this trend established. We should bounce off it. The probability is higher, and just remember it,
Yeah, and that way when I see it more often, feel more familiar with it while I'm trading other things too.
Exactly.
It's a great reason to mark your charts like that, so that you know when it bounces off the 80 MA, you can take it off the trend line. You can take it. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing with that is, like, you got like almost 4 confirming signals of support. You have your lower trend line, you have your EMA 8, you have that blue line, and then you also have the reclaim of, I believe that's VWAP.
That's VWAP right there.
Yeah, so you have like almost 4 confirming signals of a level of support, so that should like help you with your confidence.
Yeah, for sure. Even if it also is something like I can just take smaller size on, like it's a really good setup, I'll take smaller size, and I'm not used to this kind of a play.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's smaller size, and you're not risking as much too.
Exactly, yeah. But only when you're comfortable, only when you feel ready to do it.
Right. Yep, good call. this next week's really going to be big about my mentality moving forward. Keep trying to the same size, just to trade well.
Yeah.
Be patient, be confident. Wait for those, and pay attention more to the daily. Like, it's a really good point by Mike's video too. Is really looking at those daily candles, and seeing more reasons why they should move through. There was one example. I forget what name it was. I wish I remember the name, but I remember looking at the daily on it, and we had gapped up a little bit, and we had a lot of volume, but we hadn't broken out yet. So, like, we didn't have a big green bar on the daily, and I was like, we have a lot of volume. There's levels to break on the daily, and the chart looks halfway decent. So, like, I think that gave me more confidence playing a 5 minute, and I think it's something I need to be like more in tune with moving forward too, for sure.
Yeah, kind of like
really,
the move was still fresh.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's like it makes sense. Like it should move further. Like it has the volume. Like if this volume keeps up, it's gotta go. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and sometimes too, yeah, you just like look at the volume bar and be like, okay, we're like a third through the day or whatever, halfway through the day. So, definitely a lot of things you need to be paying attention to. I'm excited for next week.
Same. I feel so ready.
Yeah, me too. I think my body's finally rested a little more. Just gotta hit things hard. Last week though, I did take some probably bigger positions than I am comfortable admitting. Moving from what I used to take, so I think I was almost getting ahead of myself. So I'm really glad that there's nothing turned against me in a big manner. You know, like if you get a huge kill candle and you're in really, really deep, it really hurt you.
Yeah, that's what happened to me on one of the names, and I'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, if you want, it might be a good segue if you wanna.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share my
The
screen
names.
here, and let me make sure my quality is the way it should be. Okay, perfect. Alright, you guys see my screen, whatnot.
Yes, sir.
I'll go back to the start of the day just so I can, walk you guys through my game plans and stuff. So first trade on Friday was ATXI main watch here on this 3-minute setup, and that's when we just opened up and I was looking for a 1-minute flag. We kind of had it, and then here's kind of our 3-minute flag setting up. We have the descending VPA, we have the bounce out to 345 350 area pivot, and I wrote over here it needs to hold 344s, and that was this pre-market high area over here. Once we came down, we started pulling in, and I wasn't in this trade just yet. I was waiting for, the flag to start setting up, and when we actually, because on the 1 minute, at the time, imagine this is all you've seen. It doesn't look like a flag yet, just looks like kind of something trying to happen. And then I remember telling myself, I'm like, okay, if we get down to this 345 area, I'm going to try to get long. Okay, I'm going to try to see if we can get this pivot bounce, and sure enough we did. We start pulling in. I get long, I believe it was 352, so I didn't get the average I wanted, but it's still decent enough for me. We get our pop right back up into 370s. Took a piece off immediately. That was like almost 15 cents, so I was not going to complain. Then from there, I noticed we went from a 3-minute flag. We're still consolidating. I'm looking at it like, okay, this thing's starting to paint something. Let me up the time frame and see what's going on the 5 now. So I go to the 5. We kind of have these 3 dojis, and we kind of set up this 5-minute flag ultimately. That's where I said, okay, ATXI now 5-minute flag over 390s, which was going to be this area 385 390. We could see 4, and the reason I thought that was I forgot where the level was exactly on the daily. I'm going to try to find it for you guys right now. 390, where is it? I believe it was right here, yeah. So this was our 390 level. You can see support, support, resistance. Then if we get over that, we go to the top of the range, which is about 420, you know, $4. So I was aiming for $4, 420, then 430. Ultimately, you know, we didn't get it. The move was so dramatic that it kind of just sold off. So ATXI now 5-minute flag. Here's a little screenshot that I posted. Over 390, we could see 4. Then we did break over our 370 area. So we came back up. Didn't take a piece off here, and I believe it was on the 1 minute where I was looking for the 370s to just hold up. And you can see on the 1 minute, you know, we got over 370s. We pulled in. We held like 369, 370 exactly, which is going to be kind of this flat top pivot of resistance on all these wicks. And we also held our trade line. Kind of set up this 1 minute 3 bar. You know, we have this pull up and then, you know, the continuation move. And, you know, ultimately we held 370s. You could see, you know, right after that, low volume pullback, buyers step in. We get our push into 6. Then I said, okay, cool, boom, boom. 415 next, then 430. Needs to hold 385s. As soon as we got this rip through 385s, I started peeling off, and I got my last piece off at about $3.97. So literally as soon as we were coming up, I was just rapid firing my sell button, just getting out of my position. And then ultimately, you know, we had the extension into 4s, and, you know, it was this setup was, you know, good enough for me. It was, I believe, like a 40-50 cent win, so it was solid. And then on the 1 minute, I seen some people trying to, you know, play this 385, and that's where I wrote 1 minute bear flag here on ATXI. If no follow through below 385s, we could see the infamous UE. Now you see we have this leg down. This is our flagpole. Then we kind of have that 1 minute bear flag setting up here over the 385, and that's where I said, okay, if we don't get follow through to the downside, I'm going to look for that, you know, start to curl up and, you know, ultimately make the new highs and start squeezing, as we have been seeing so often lately. Ultimately, you know, we started putting in lower high, lower high, lower high, before, you know, finally reaching the apex, and you could see sellers smacked it down. Trying to think, was that my only trade on this name? I was looking for the 330 areas. Honestly, I put that in the stock chat, and we did not hold. I did not re-enter in the 330s. I believe I was looking at another name at the time, but we kind of had, you know, this wedge setting up. We ended up coming down to 315s, so, you know, I'm glad I didn't. And then, you know, ultimately we made a move back up to 350s, but I did not play it down there. So that was my trade on ATXI. And then FNHC, I did call out NutX. Didn't actually get in it, and I'm glad I didn't. I'll show you guys what happened here. So we had this like 91 cent area here, and I was like, okay, you know, if we get over this 91, let's see if we could firm up and then try and make the move into 96s, and then ultimately $1. But if you look at the volume, when we came up here, I was looking at the volume and I was like, okay, you know, there's like no volume. There's no point for me to even try to, you know, enter this or anything. And look back at it like 5 minutes later, and I seen this huge move down. I was like, okay, holy shit, good thing I didn't get in.
Yeah.
Then let's see, IMRA off that 354 pivot with Herv. This was one that I did take, and I believe I was filled at $3.50 IMRA, 10:36 a.m. This is 10:36, right? No, this is 11:26. So right in here, kind of have this, you know, flag area setting up. Where is that? 11:36. Yeah, so I guess I was trying to play it off the lower trend line. 354 pivot. Why did I say 354 pivot? Oh, 354 pre-market pivot. I wasn't reading full. Sorry. So yeah, I guess I was trying to play it off this 354 area pivot right over here. Well, still that's 340. Why did I say 354? Let me check my orders. I see I have a trade for IMRA at 10:36 a.m. and I know that was off the VWAP area. We kind of had this, 3 minute. I'm sure I was on the 5 at the time. We kind of had this 5-minute flag setting up, and then, ultimately we failed. So this would have been an L. I see I got filled at 351. Took some off on a pop into 357, and then ultimately got stuffed on the last piece and took it off at 347. See IMRA, I played it at 1:20 p.m. So that would be right over here. Played it, got the 350 ads. Yep, this was off the lower trend, not the lower trend line, I'm sorry, but it was off the support area 350. And then ultimately I did make a move higher, but I stopped out at 348 because it was taking so long. I remember I was on the 1 minute. And then IMRA.
That lower trend too.
Yeah, I was trying to see if we reclaimed. I can't remember exactly what my idea was here, but I remember I did cut it because I was just like, all right, this thing is taking forever. The volume was also really low at this time. So I had that one trade. Yeah, so those are my 2 trades. I don't know what the hell I was talking about here.
Well, it was definitely that 354 pivot.
Oh, I think this might be that first flag trade here that I ultimately
there's a
got.
couple of them actually. Like there's one after. Like
Yeah, right over here, and that would kind of line up. Oh yeah, right there, 11:26. So here it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right over here. So I must have taken it on this candle and got stuffed on it.
Yeah. But it's a good idea.
Yeah, there was multiple flags here that just ultimately didn't hold. It's all good. SHPH as well. This is one that I took with Mikey. I got filled at, I believe it was 381, 383. So I got filled right over here on the 5-minute flag. Risk was supposed to be off 378. We did have this stuff into VWAP, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm already down. Let me risk off 370 exactly, because I noticed this pivot over here, and I noticed how we held it over here. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm down right now. Let me just risk another penny and risk off 370. What's the worst that can happen? We end up sucking up, hitting 388. Didn't take any off the table because, this one had a spread. If I sold market, I would have got filled probably at break even. And I kind of wish I did take it off because right after we get stuffed. And I remember I was just on my sell button, and I ultimately got filled at 363 from 383. So this was kind of a really nasty move down. Going on the 3-minute, the nice flag over the pivot. It was really, whipsawy. I wish I did cut on this first one. I should have followed my game plan off 378. So you can see it was, a firm support area, and then ultimately we broke, and this one was nasty. But everyone took the L on it. What else was there? Lace might be setting up a 5-minute flag here. See Lace, where you at? Yeah, 510. What time was that? That was at 11:50 a.m. Yeah, I remember this one. So we kind of had this 5-minute flag setting up over our trade line, over our $5 pivot. Got filled some 508. I remember looking at my orders right now. Took some off 512. Took some off 515. And then ultimately, fat knife. I was out on the 504 area break. I did cut it short. I was supposed to risk off 5, but I remember I forgot what it was exactly. I believe it was the tape. The tape was looking very heavy in these upper areas right here, and you can also see off the wicks. And we didn't. What I was looking for on this was the 1 minute trend break, kind of like we had here. See if we can hold. And when we couldn't hold, I was like, okay, you know what, my thesis is now changing. This is taking too long up here. We're kind of in a, you could say, a distribution area. We're going up and down. We should have held and we should have continued higher if the setup was actually going to work. And ultimately, when we cracked below this trend line, I just started getting out, and then that's where I got filled near the 504 area. I did right, risk off 5, and I'm glad I cut it a little short, because if I did try to get filled at 5, my market order probably would have dragged into 490s. So I think that was I think I managed the risk pretty well on this one. The entry was also pretty decent, 508, one of these pullbacks here into our trade line. So entry could have been better, could have been closer to 5, but I'm not too mad about it or anything. Yeah, so we got a 520 test on lace there. Yeah, the idea was there, just didn't fail. And then I said watching lace on lower trend line. I didn't get into a position yet. I was looking for kind of a reclaim of the 480s, 490s area before I do get a starter in. And reason was we were on this lower trend line. Volume was kind of light. Then ultimately you could see selling pressure picked up, and that's when we came down to test our initial low a day. So there was really no trade on this, and that's what I wrote over here, no trade. So once we broke trend, I was like, okay, yeah, there's no trade. I'm moving on. IMRA grabbed some 350 off lower trend line. What time was this? Wait, didn't I already cover this? Oh no, yeah, I remember this one. So took that L there, and then I believe what the hell was I looking at? I think I covered that trade earlier, and then I think it's, how do I see the time on this? 104. Let me look at my orders real quick and see what I was doing there at 104 area, or 104 p.m.ish. IMRA. Yeah, I think I tried playing on a trend reclaim 351. So right over here, I think when we came back up, we reclaimed our trend. And I see I got long 351 there. So I guess I kind of seen this trying to reclaim, right under VWAP, kind of a 5-minute flag setup right here. And then we did get this crack. You see when I took some off? Took some off 362, so that would have been this pop right over here while I kind of top ticked it, and then I got filled the rest off at 354. So once we started pulling back in, we started coming all the way down here, and I took the rest off here at 354. Looking at it now, I shouldn't have even been back in this name.
That's a really good 5-minute flag right there.
Yeah.
If you go even the next one, the next one I actually played. That left, right there. That candle.
Okay, I see it.
Because yeah, you have a huge volume up, and then you play back. It hits that 354 from previous that you were talking about.
Yeah.
It smacked it perfect. And then it just bounces up, and it's perfect for me. A little scout play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one. I think I had 2 names that helped me get back, and this was literally this play from 354 to 362.
Oh, nice.
Knocked the shit out of that play. So,
yeah, like for me right now, I'm looking at this and like I'm so confused because I'm like, wait, why did I why was I even in this thing? Like, to me, there was no solid setup here, and even though it was a win, like,
Yeah.
there's other cleaner things I should have been playing. And looking at it now, I'm glad I was able to get out with a win, but like, what was I thinking? You know, I
Yeah.
should have not touched that one. And then we'll go to the main player of the day. This one was amazing. So FNHC, right when I said FNHC main watch, this whole move happened, and there were so many people on this name. And what I mean by that is, like, we were watching this thing all the way from 38s, and I remember it was RCB. He added at 38s all the way down here off of this pre-market support area, and I told him, I'm gonna wait for it to show me some strength. So RCB was on this, Dom was on this. You can see, Mikey was on this. Everyone's seen the same setup, and we all just attacked. And we got this huge explosive move to the upside, and it was freaking amazing. So I'll go into it because I remember I told you, Jizban, I got a shitty fill on it, and so I seen this consolidation, and believe it or not, I just got off my computer. I was going to get some lunch, and I was actually on my mobile when I was in this trade, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's see if we get that move higher. And I remember I was on the 1 minute at the time. I was on my Weeble, and you see how we kind of kept wicking down into these 42s? I wanted the 42 area ads because I wanted to risk off of 40. And ultimately, I literally pressed buy on one of these candles, and I got filled at 43.49, like literally the top of the range. And I was like, bro, like, come on, how are you gonna do that to me? Like, really? And ultimately, I wasn't mad because it really exploded. But you can kind of see this cup and handle setup. Low volume consolidation. I remember also looking at the 10 minute and kind of seeing this, low VPA flag here. Well, anyways, we, got the break, and we just had this crazy parabolic move into 57s. I remember I peeled some off through high day into 46. I peeled some off into 50s. And then I remember telling RCB in the stock chat that I was holding my last piece to see if we get that 60 crack. We literally hit 60 on the dot, and I remember as we were coming up when we cracked this high a day, I got my last piece off at 58 cents, and you can see right here, we banged 32% on that one. So that one was a freaking, that one was amazing. This is where I was like, okay, I scaled most, I'm holding my runners now, and I really wanted this move into 65s, and that's, I'll get into that right now. So later in the day, this is, after I got back to my desk, I had my lunch and whatnot. I was like, all right, FNHC pulling a UE. What that means is, you get that big volume dump, low volume consolidation, fresh pair of longs start coming in, and, you get that move higher. So I was like, okay, FNHC pulling a UE. 5 minute flag now on FNHC. This is the flag I was looking at. You can see it here. We have our leg up, flagging over here. Probably too zoomed in for it to really show anything, but you see we have our leg up, kind of a flag setting up here, low VPA. This one's kind of stuffy, but ultimately we held our trade line. Then I was like looking for a quick short candle, get some ads in, 0.58 wall, let's see if we can chip. I remember we came up to this level, 58 area, a lot of sellers, and I remember I believe I entered 56 cents on this one. Let me check my orders just to be exact. Yeah, I got in at 56 cents here on one of these short candles. I don't know which one it was exactly. However, right when we cracked through our 58, I took a piece off. And then I wrote over here 59.7 wall next. We got through our 59.7 wall, took a piece off at 60. And then on this parabolic pop, this was so quick that I don't know if like anyone was even able to get filled unless they had a limit order. So I didn't get any off into here. We kind of come down, we start holding this trade line. And then we have this second pop into 60s, and I took my last piece off again at 61. We end up coming down. I'll get into iLag in a second. Let me just continue with FNHC. And then, so right here I was like 5 minute FNHC. Let's see if we hold 56s. Nice VPA too. So you can see, we're starting to come down, starting to form this, 5 minute flag over here. And I was ultimately looking for 56s to hold. And when we got this move into 56 over here, I started buying it, expecting that quick 1 minute, short to get slurped up and, come up. And ultimately, we didn't hold for shit. We just flushed right through it. And I got that piece off at 53. Lucky enough for me, I have some common sense to know, when you win big on 2 trades on a name, that third trade's always going to be way smaller size. So, lucky for me, this didn't really hurt the past 2 trades or anything. So this one was a really nice setup, and I even put in the after hours, like, keep this name on watch. This thing has range. And it ultimately we had that movement, we had that range into 69s, but we got 65s on Friday, so that's good enough. But like, look at this thing. If we can get over the 73 area, like, you guys see the levels don't lie. $1, very, very high possibility. I'm not gonna put a price target out on it or anything, but it's good to keep it on watch. And then iLag, this was my last trade of the day. We had this 5-minute flag set up. iLag just explosive. I don't know what the hell this was, but anyways. So we have this move higher here. I was looking for the 550, 560 ads. We didn't get it. It extended without me. That's okay. I'll wait for the next setup. And then ultimately right here, I was like, where is it exactly? Somewhere around here. iLag 5-minute flag as well. I want 590, 580 to hold. Ideally want 560 area ads. So I was still going off that first, play setup. I wanted the 550, 560s. We didn't get them. That's okay, no problem. So you guys can see this 5-minute flag here. Our pull up, low descending VPA, held our 580 area. I got filled 592 on this one. And then ultimately we reclaimed over 6, and I was like, let's see if we get that move into 650. We have our, volume slowly stair stepping up. We have our move into 650. I was peeling off along this, looking at my orders right now. Got some off 605, got some off 615, got my last piece off at 627. So, I'm putting these price targets out, and I'm not holding for them, and that's fine. You're taking a little more size, you're getting a little more, nervous or antsy, you could say, and you kind of want to be out of the position quicker. So, ultimately I'm not really mad about that, but like I told you, just Ben, I should start holding that last piece to see if we get that follow through move. And then, we extend into 650, put it right over here. There's 650 plus here. At the time it was like 653, and then, like, this is where I was knocking on my own head. I'm like, dude, we just hit 6.7 and I'm all the way out in the 620s. Like, come on, what are you doing? And ultimately we pull in, hold our trade line. I was completely out for this move into 670s, but did get stuffed, and then did continue, try to break that 670s again, couldn't, and it stuffed, and that's where I called it on the day, man. So that's everything from me.
Oh yeah, good work, man.
Yeah, it was a fun day.
Yeah, a lot of nice plays.
How do I scale out? I scale out in a to answer Chris Trade's question. I scale out in a what the hell, I can't even speak right now. This is how I scale out: 25, 50, 25. Usually that last 25 will be broken into 5%, 10%, last 5%, however you want to do it, but it's always 25, 50, 25. That's my scale out routine. So if you have 100 shares, for example, you scale out your first 25, scale out that 50%, and then you have your last piece that you break down into 2 or 3 pieces. Lately I haven't been doing that, and that's something I gotta work on, but that's normally my process of scaling out. Scaling in, kind of the same way. Put a piece in, start to show you a little strength, you can put a piece in, and then if it starts going against you but you're still not at your risk, you can put a piece in. The way I scale is at resistance points. So you see right here we have this 620 area, scale some. You see right here we have this 607 area, scale some. You see right here we have this 617 area, scale some. You always want to ensure and protect as much profits as you can, because you don't know when this trade's just going to turn around and kick you in the ass.
Yeah, always good to secure profits.
Yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
a little
that's
more aggressive for scaling, but I'm also more scalping.
yeah, yeah. Man, I remember a couple months ago when the market was hot, I was doing like 70% in a day on one trade. There's so many videos. I'll show them to you right here. On my YouTube, when I used to recap my own trades like after the market closes. Um,
Uh-huh.
right here there was AVDL 73%, ARC
Jeez.
103%. This one was amazing. Why is it showing me it like that? Why can't it actually?
There.
Yeah, so AVDL 73%, 61% before the market opened, 68%. And this is when like the market was hot, and this is I remember you remember that name Rev? I made
Yeah.
220% on that one.
Nice.
I wanna find it. I wanna show it to you guys. No, why doesn't it show up?
Appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I definitely. He was talking about scalping too. But yeah, I'm definitely more scalping. I want to try to let things run a little more, but I definitely feel comfortable being more scalping. I just take more sides and feel.
Yeah, here's Rev. I held this thing from
Oh
three.
wow.
I held this thing from $3 all the way to I believe it was $8, and
Nice,
I
dude.
nailed 203% on it. Like when this is when the market was hot, man. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy when the market's hot. Like now, the market is kind of tough, and we're not making 114 here, 62 here, 33 here. So. But I'll tell
Yeah.
you now, when the market gets hot again, it's it's gonna go down.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, yeah. Maybe I'll be making 6-7% then.
Yeah.
rather than my 3-4.
To answer your question, Christ trades. Yeah. So back when I was um, able to hold those trades for long share, I was scaling out, and I'd always have that piece in it, and that's the piece I was able to capitalize on. It wasn't just buying in and holding, but compared to now, yeah, now I'm trading more size, and I guess that kind of shows in the percentage gains that I make now because I'm eager to get out quickly because I have a lot more risk on the table. But with time, we get used to it, and we'll be back. But even on like FNHC, if you just scale out properly, see, like a lot of people, this is a point I want to make. A lot of people think you have to hold your whole piece to make a crazy amount of money, okay? But if you scale out your piece in a proper way and then you get that big move, and you get 32%, that piece that a lot of people would consider small size is actually paying because you got such a big move, and that's something a lot of people don't get. Like a lot of people put a lot of money in, and they get 5% and they're like, oh, look at this. But like, what if you put in half of that, you let the trade play out, you scaled out properly, and then that whole trade hit like a 35% win? Like that's a pretty penny. And that's something I always try to like get across, because like I don't know that I don't want to like talk bad about people, but there's some people, man, they put like a
Talk
hundred.
bad about me.
Some people
I'm
like they
alright.
put 100,000 in a trade, man, and they scalp it for 5-10 cents. Like what are
It's
you
fucking
doing?
awesome, man.
It's awesome, yeah, 100%. But at the end of the day, like come on, man. Like, do you not trust yourself? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I need to work on is letting things run more,
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I agree. I agree. The bits that you let run definitely
they end up paying, and
matter
if
well.
if they
Yeah,
don't, they don't. It is what it is.
yeah, and then if you break that even, uh, for sure. No, I agree with all that, for sure. Something I need to work on personally.
Yeah, Rev was one of my best trades. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how I trade moving forward too, because I finally feel like I have a little bit of confidence trading. So it's exciting, especially once the market heats up eventually.
Yeah, when the market heats up, man, it's so easy. Like I'll be honest, like even for me, it's not extremely tough right now. but it's not how it used to be. Like it used to be, okay, you put your money in this, top gainer, solid setup. It opens up and it doesn't stop. Like if we go to Rev, for example, like back when it was making its moves, we was over here. Like look at this thing. This thing was just non-stop, continuously opening up. Day after day. And when the market gets like that again, it's gonna be very easy. Like look at this. I believe this is where I got long. It was off this 330 break over here. We literally broke over and we held as support, and this is where I got long. And yeah, this was actually caught the move into nines. Like just ultimately, look how this thing just opens up, consolidates, opens up more, and like going forward on it as well. It opens up. It holds up, opens up more. I know there's RDBX as well. This was also a big winner back in the day. Like just when the market's hot, look at these names, how they respect levels. They hold, they open up more. They hold, they open up more, and then ultimately, they obviously end up giving out. But point here is when the market is hot, it's so much easier. But now you got to be focused on so many different factors, and it's a little tougher. But we're managing, we're getting by, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Of course, at this time, SPY was at like 450, 470 almost, so that kind of helped it.
Yep, that's for sure. Excited for good days, but also it's good to learn how to trade in these circumstances.
Of course, and something I like to stress on is this: if you can make money in this shitty market, you're good. Don't even worry. When the market's hot, you're gonna know, and you're gonna be able to step on the pedal. Just like Mikey said in his video yesterday, you gotta know, when to ease off and when to give it throttle, and you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. You'll just see it like 1 week, or you'll be like, bro, everything's getting followed through, and then the next week everything still gets followed through, and then you slowly ease into the pedal, and then you're like, holy shit, I'm a whole different trader now.
Yep. But for now, I just gotta focus on rock solid entries and taking off a little bit earlier.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine, man. You're good. Trust me.
Yeah, this week is definitely for me is making sure I stick to good entries, especially while I'm still at 4 sides and a half before. So just gotta stick to those solid entries.
Yeah.
And then I do want to have at least one trade where I hold a good portion of it for the next day.
Yeah. Write these things down as well. Like put them on a post-it and put them right in front of your, right on your computer screen or whatever you're using.
On the inside of my glasses.
Or that, yeah, that works too.
But yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, no, but write them down because it helps a lot. Trust me.
And see you, Chris, too. Sorry,
yeah, he says he's like 2 a.m. where he is.
You're already gone.
Yeah. Did anyone else trade anything? Jixer Man, T-Bone? Lord Butthard. Nice name. Someone sent me a direct message with that name. That's why I'm like, what the hell? Lord Butthard.
I don't have my trades.
No?
I got my ass kicked.
Well, what'd you get your ass kicked on?
I don't remember the stock.
It happens.
I did want to ask you guys about journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you have multiple orders on the same stock, are you journaling that, or are you just the start of the stock, the open, and then the close?
So normally I just journal the like when I got in, when I scaled, why I scaled, and from there moving forward. Like, because sometimes you'll have 3 orders for a buy order, and then you'll have 4 orders for a sell order. So I'm not journaling those 3 buy orders, even though I should. I usually journal from whatever my average is to whatever my scale outs are until I'm out of the position. Then I like to put like what the setup was, why I traded it, what my risk was, what I made. So you can start to get a feel of, okay, I'm risking, for example, I'm risking $100, but I made $220. Like that's pretty good risk.
Right. So I'm sorry. I was getting journaling confused with tracking the trade. So journaling your emotions and things like that, correct? Tracking the trade is strictly like an Excel spreadsheet. Is that correct?
Yeah. So like even in my journal, I have it right over here. So I have a Discord server that's just to myself, and like I journal. Like sometimes I'll write things like as I'm in a trade, if I'm feeling emotional or something, I'll jump in there and I'll jot it down. Like I know a couple weeks ago, one of the things I wrote in there was, "You see the action is S. Why are you still at your computer?" And so like just anytime you have a thought, you journal it down, and because it's always good to track your thoughts throughout the day to get to know what's really going on inside of your head. Because when the markets close, you don't really, sure you can remember, but it's just better to write it down in my opinion.
Good
Yeah.
point.
I've sweared a lot of it though.
Yeah, and always make your own Discord server. Have it just for yourself, and you know, uh,
There's something.
journal your trades in there. It's very
You can
helpful.
also put a lot of like your educational stuff or whatever in your own Discord too, or whatever. So
Exactly.
that
You can have
it's
multiple
organized.
floors, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I
Um,
guess part of what I don't I understand it, but when you use the Excel spreadsheets, I mean, some of them have so many entries in it. How do you fill that out while you're trading?
So what I've kind of progressed to, because I mean, me being a scalper too, I have a crap ton of entries and exits. And what I found worked for me, which maybe I should get more detail and stuff, but I kind of just in my Excel for the day, I just type in what ticker I'm traded, and then I just put the amount that I'm up or down on it, and I really just do that kind of track my day. Know like, all right, traded this maybe different stocks already. All right, this one had this green, or this one's this red, or whatever. And then at the end of the day, it's when I go through and I just use the OBS Studio as well, and I just go through and go through all my trades throughout the day to see, and I just show my trades on Thinkorswim, and then I just go through and see exactly where I bought, and see how good was my entry or how shit was it, and what was I thinking, why did I buy there, and then I just go through my whole day on each name, and then I just go through all the names I have listed on Excel. So that's kind of what I've transitioned to because I have a lot of trades. It might not be like the most meticulous or correct way, but that's just kind of what works for me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, me personally, I don't use Excel. Kind of just write down, like entry time, and I actually have a notebook right by me, and that's where I like write down. Okay, 10:30 a.m. I got into this at this, and then I'll jump into my Discord and kind of just like write down. If I'm feeling some type of way or something.
Yeah, and I definitely think the biggest thing for me is going back on all my trades and every single day and really I like doing it by myself too. That way I can really sit there and think like, okay, what was I risking off of when I bought, or like how did everything look? It's something I should probably be more and more meticulous with. Um, and sometimes I do get lazy and I kind of just like, oh yeah, I kind of took here and have a bunch of trades. I'm like, where exactly did I take? But I really should get back into the habit of really going through every single entry like this.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Even after I go over all of this with you guys, like in the evening around like 7, 8 p.m., I'll have dinner and whatnot, and then I'll come back to my desk and I'll sit down and, go over everything on my own one last time just to, see where I really went wrong and see where I went right and try to replicate, the right things and try to avoid doing the wrong things, of course.
Yep.
But yeah, that's,
Biggest thing to control are those entries. You gotta get really good entries.
yeah,
It helps so much for
yeah.
me at least.
No, for everyone, honestly, because
Yeah.
if you have a crappy entry and trade goes against you right away, and then ends up reversing. For example, like AGFY,
Yeah.
like
That shit entry.
even though you had the right idea, it just didn't hold. But like if you had a different entry, then you would have, it would have
I would have had
kept
that
you in the
degree.
trade. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just
And that's
an example of why entries are very important.
Yep. And then it just really hampers, like, really makes me think, all right, patience, like patience. It's not at the ideal level, like where I want it, and I just gotta wait.
Yeah.
Wait. It's so
There's
hard.
there was this psychologist for trading, and I was watching his video once, and he said there's an exercise he tells new traders to do, and this is the exercise. So wherever you're trying to get into a position, so let's say it's at $3.50, and let's say your risk is off $3.43. Hypothetical. Let's just say that. He said, put your entry where your stop loss is. And more than likely, there's a lot of other traders around the world that are having their stop loss at the same price. So what's the market makers gonna do? They're gonna bring it down, hit the stops, and bring it back up. And it's happened so many times. And so basically, he says, put your entry where your stop loss is gonna be. Put like a limit order there. Watch you get filled, and watch you get into a winning position. And I've never tried it, but that's just something that I watched before in a little like psychology video about trading.
Yeah, I love it.
Looking at AGFY, like if you had your entry at your stop loss, it would have
Yeah.
worked out. That's why I brought it up, honestly.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah,
But yeah, then I think moving forward to next week, I think that's exactly what I need to focus back in on, because I've been trading like shit down the week. And it's just, I need to get back to really good entries and being super patient and just slamming in the size as soon as it hits.
yeah,
But wait, just gotta be patient.
yeah. Always on Monday as well. Kind of take it easy, get a feel for sentiment, and then
Yeah.
once things start opening up, you'll know whether it's time to hit the gas or not.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much all I had. If you guys got anything else, or we wrap it up here, whatever you guys want to do.
I think I mean, at least for me, it's pretty good. We covered a lot,
Yeah,
especially the mental side of this. It's
agreed.
the most important. I mean, not that the charting isn't, but mental is a huge part.
Yeah, mental is a very big part of it. Very, very big.
So, hell yeah.
Well,
Well, I appreciate everyone coming on.
of course,
So I
of
appreciate
course.
you setting it up and everything.
Of course. All right, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow in the Goblin Gang chat, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I can have a great week.
Yep. All right, guys. Take care. Enjoy your
Alright.
Sunday.